Welcome to the first part of our 5-week virtual parent-child workshop. Every Monday this month at 10 a.m. will be a new parenting topic with guest speakers. This initiative was funded with a grant by the Institute of Museums and Library Services and the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. In 2018, our library began the process of becoming a member of the Family Place Library's national network. We do ask that you fill out a survey before this program and at the end of the 5 weeks. If you have not already done so, please fill out the pre-survey. These are also available by emailing sdenbo@cityofbaycity.org. You can turn these in at the library or email them back. So what is a Family Place library? Please remember that as we go through this presentation, know that anytime you hear the word parent, we mean the caregiver of any type. We recognize and welcome families of all types at our library. So let me give you a brief overview on Family Place. It is a model that provides a developmental framework and comprehensive model for the family-centered library service that creates a library culture that actively and intentionally supports young children and their families beginning at birth. It involves the design of physical space, services, and collections, specifically for young children, parents, and caregivers, that integrates play within the library environment and nurtures parent-child and parent-parent interactions. It connects families with the services and resources of other family and early childhood agencies to help build a strong fabric of community support. By creating a family-centered environment for young children and families, Family Place transforms libraries into community hubs for families with very young children, welcoming free spaces for early literacy and learning, socialization, parent education, and family support. So why does this matter? The Family Place is grounded in research-based information from the fields of neuroscience and early learning. Advances in neuroscience have shown that the brain is the only organ that is not fully developed at birth. As this slide demonstrates, at birth, only 25% of the brain is wired, and by 3 years, 90% is wired. The experiences and relationships children have in these first 3 years of life directly impact how their brains develop, which in turn affects how they interact with their peers, form relationships with adults, and learn. And children learn best when their brains are well wired. So how do young children learn? Relationships are at the core of learning. Healthy relationships enhance a child's development, and learning happens across all domains: social, physical, intellectual, creative, emotional, and advances in one area impacts advances in other areas. Each area is enhanced through self-directed play and by the way adults interact with children. Play, along with these adult-child interactions, directly affect how a child learns. So what do we have at Bay City Public Library? Well, in 2018, we overhauled our youth services based on the trainings provided at the Family Place Library Institute. This room is now fun and engaging, as you can see in our picture. What we do have is we do have a parent collection. We have a parent-child workshop, which is what you're attending. We have a play and learn space in our youth room, which you can see some of it in this picture. The chair has a dollhouse and other manipulatives for the children to play with. We have trained staff. We have a 1,000 books before kindergarten program. We offer a weekly story time for toddlers called Toddler Tales. Our picture books are organized by topic. We offer sensory tubs and other various programs throughout the year. So the Parent-Child Workshop is what you are participating in today. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, we've had to adapt this program to an information session versus an in-person play-based event. The video that I'm going to play for you is about 7 minutes long. It was created by the Middle Country Library as a promotional video, but it shows what our program is based on and will be like once we return to in-person workshops. It focuses on the whole child and the parent is the first teacher, and it emphasizes the role of the children's librarian as a connecting link to community resources.
The beauty of having family places, there's no right or wrong. All these toys and things are safe for them to learn and explore.
You're getting all the areas of learning. You're getting all the sensory, you're getting the building, you're getting your role play, you're getting your physical play. I've seen an incredible increase in library usage since we've added programs like Family Place.
Coming to the library and participating in programs makes you feel really less isolated. And I think it's a good opportunity to ask some of the professionals about parenting experiences.
Family Place programming has been wonderful regardless of the community, and the program works beautifully in every setting.
It really represents, on one side, the best of what a library can offer that's completely consistent with a mental health practitioner or someone working in social services would want to operate.
Family Place is actually more than just a program. It's really a philosophy of service, and it involves the Parent-Child Workshop, working in collaboration with other agencies and organizations, space development for very young children and their parents, and trained library staff.
The workshop really accomplishes many goals, and we're not only touching base on books and literacy, but we're also touching base on play and the importance of play. I pointed out to them that every child needs their parent. They need to bond and play with them. You're going to be providing them with an opportunity to help them develop socially and emotionally, and you just can't replace them.
A lot of parents don't realize that it's not all about computers and TV. You got to sit down there and get dirty with them. To see all of the equipment and different stations for the children to play with is just very, very exciting. You wouldn't expect to see it in the library. I thought that children were going to play and we're going to stay like in a side. And it wasn't like that. We play with them. We have fun with them. We interact with each other. It gives me a chance to be with my kid on this day and play with him and bond with him.
The Parent-Child Workshop is a wonderful opportunity for parents and young children to come together with other parents and young children to learn about library services, speak to resource professionals, and also create relationships among the other attendees.
If you have a question or different problems you have with the kids, you can talk to the parents and see maybe, they have that problem too, or if they, any advice we can give to each other.
You're linking parents with the resources that they need in terms of human resources, in terms of the community partners, people who can offer parenting support, people who can talk to parents about their needs.
I did notice, being in a group, that he wasn't talking as much as the other children in the room, and I was connected with the agency, and he did receive services, and he really did blossom. But it wasn't until I got him into a room of other 2-year-olds, and I said, wow, this is potentially a problem. I bring research-based information that answers many of parents' concerns about their young children. And a lot of our resource professionals give their cards out to the parents, and then parents can feel comfortable to even continue that relationship once the workshop is over. It's our role as the librarian to facilitate that relationship. If we had to do an online research on a database of something that they needed information on, or even a referral service to another organization or agency that may not be here at the time, we're able to really walk out of the workshop and get that information in the parents' hands.
Family Place is really all about relationships. When you build that strong bond, it's wonderful for everyone. The parents learn from the resource professionals, from the librarians, and from each other. And the librarians learn from the parents and the resource professionals too. So it's a win-win for everyone involved.
Another vital component of Family Place Libraries is the creation of an early childhood interactive learning space that's accessible all hours of the library visit. In addition to board and picture books, this space includes early learning materials such as blocks, puzzles, dolls, puppets, dramatic play items like kitchen sets, infant toys, manipulatives, and parent resources.
They came in and redid our entire children's area. So half of our library suddenly had color. They hung banners and put out the toys, and all of a sudden people were finding the library.
The space is actually structured so that the young children that come into the space can explore it according to their own individual interests, abilities, and developmental stages. A key element in Family Place is attending the Family Place Training Institute. We cover outreach, coalition building, early childhood and parent development, programming, space, and marketing.
When I went to the Family Place Training Institute, that was one of the best things that ever happened to this children's library. I was almost fearful of the really tiny ones, but the Family Place Institute was great at making me comfortable with things.
Our board of supervisors love Family Place. They have so many libraries doing this that they have real practical experience of how to approach different kids. It is something that is not extremely expensive to implement. So when you do it, if you follow the training and you listen to their advice, you almost can't fail.
We've kind of switched gears and gone more towards a philosophy of serving the whole family. It's put the library on the radar of other county departments. It's been a very nice means of broadening our services to a larger group of people.
Any parent would be privileged to have this kind of Family Place experience.
It's best to offer these kinds of family-focused interventions within a community setting and done right with respect for each family in a way that's culturally appropriate, in a way that only provides parents with what they need and what they desire at that point in time, no more, no less.
Family Place helps parents give their children the foundation for future success in school and life.
No, really, come enjoy and you get so much out of the program.
For further information about Family Place, please visit our website at www.familyplacelibraries.org.
All right, so that is what our program is based on. It's where we have taken all of our training, and we're so excited to be able to bring these types of services here to Bay City Public Library and to help all of those in our county.
Family Place is transformative.
So, as they said in the video, it is a workshop. So the Parent-Child Workshop is designed to be a 5-week program because there are 5 main identified areas that we will focus on. Each topic will have a resource professional that participates. For a virtual program, they're going to provide a presentation on what their agency is and information about the topic for the week. They will also be available for any questions at the ends of their presentations. So this week is literacy, and here as your professional librarian, I am here to provide you with some basic information on literacy skills and some tips to make early literacy fun for you and your child. The topics that we will be covering after today will be child development, nutrition, speech, language, and hearing, and music, movement, and play. So early literacy is not the teaching of reading, but laying the foundations for reading. Research has identified these 6 skills as essential for the later development of reading, writing, and language skills. These are the skills that you will want to help your child develop early for better success later. So the first is print motivation. It's the interest in and enjoyment of books and reading. Children with print motivation enjoy being read to, they play with books, they pretend to write, and they like trips to the library. The next is phonological awareness, the ability to hear and to manipulate the smaller sounds in words, such as rhyming, syllables, starting sounds. Children with phonological awareness skills recognize that words are made up of a number of sounds. They can hear and create rhymes, say words with sounds or chunks left out, and put sounds together to make a word. These children will be more successful at sounding out written words when they start to read. Vocabulary. It's the knowing the names of things, including objects, animals, and other concrete things, as well as abstract things such as feelings, concepts, and ideas. A strong vocabulary helps children decode words and understand what they read. With bigger vocabularies, it makes reading easier because it's easier for them to make sense of what they are sounding out. And the last, and narrative skills, the ability to describe things and events and tell stories. Children with good narrative skills can recount events, describe things, and tell and retell stories. They can explain their feelings and desires, which can lead to fewer tantrums and help make parenting easier. Print awareness is the ability to notice print, to know that print has meaning, to understand how to handle a book, and to know how to follow print in a book. Children have to be aware of words before they can read them. They need to know how books work. Which is the front cover? Which is the back cover? What's upside down and right side up? Which page to start on, and which direction to read. And the last of our early literacy skills is letter knowledge. Knowing that letters are different from each other and that they have different names and sounds. As children gain letter knowledge, they learn that the same letter can look different, such as capital and lowercase, that each letter has a name, and each letter is related to sounds. And then we have 5 ways that we can develop those skills. So remember that early literacy skills begin before a child learns to read, and a child's brain is already 90% wired at age 3. So these are just as important to the first 3 years of life as they are at the preschool and school age levels. These practices will help make learning fun. Talking. Because children learn by listening to their parents and others talk. As children hear the spoken word, they understand that new words they understand that there's a spoken language and what they mean. They learn about the world around them and important general knowledge. This will help children understand the meaning of what they read. Talking with children helps them learn our oral language, which is one of the most critical early literacy skills. And this begins at infants. The next is singing, which would also include rhyming. This increases children's awareness of and a sensitivity to the sounds and words. This helps prepare children to decode print. Reading together is the single most important way to help children get ready to read and become proficient readers. Reading together increases vocabulary and general knowledge. It helps children learn how print looks and how books work, and it helps develop an interest in reading. Writing and reading go together. Writing helps children learn that letters and words stand for sounds and that print has meaning. Children can learn pre-reading skills through writing activities. Playing is one of the primary ways young children learn about the world. Children learn a lot about language and general knowledge through play. It helps children think symbolically so they understand that spoken and written words can stand for real objects and experiences. Play also helps children express themselves and put thoughts into words. So in review, the 5 practices are talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing. And by incorporating these practices into your everyday routine, you could have a major impact on laying the foundation for your child's school success. So how do we put the 6 skills and the 5 practices together? Here's a few tips. So limit screen time. Screen time is actually discouraged before the age of 2. This is especially important for infants to about 18 months. If you've ever seen a baby seem mesmerized by what's on the screen, there's a reason. Their brain. At this age, they have what is called orienting reflex, which means that if what they're looking at doesn't change, they lose interest and look away. What is on the screen is constantly changing. So they are focusing on what is there and literally cannot look away because of how their brain is programmed. So for older children who do have screen time, encourage them not to reenact what they see on shows exactly. Help them build narrative skills by asking your child how their character would handle a different scenario. This is one of my personal favorite tips because it's one I learned when my own son was about 4 years old and was always reenacting his favorite shows. So there are 3 types of words: common, less common, and rare. This is why reading picture books is important, because in general, picture books have 3 times as many rare words as we use in conversation with young children. So when children have been read to, they have heard more words and will be able to better comprehend what they read when they are taught to read. Also, point to words when you're reading them. This teaches children to associate the spoken and the written word. So another one is to actively develop their vocabulary. As we mentioned, children who have larger vocabularies are more likely to become better readers. When reading or talking to your child, select a new vocabulary word. For example, we're going to use the word enormous. Provide a child-friendly definition. Enormous means something is really big. Apply it to the child. Do you remember the really big pumpkin we saw yesterday? It was enormous. And then encourage your child to provide their own example. Can you think of something enormous that we saw today? This helps the child develop vocabulary skills, as well as how to take turns in conversation. If you have a word you don't know, tell your little one that you are going to learn what it means together. This provides an opportunity for them to see you learn too. Next, using song and rhyme. Songs are a natural way to learn about language. Most songs have distinct notes for each syllable, so clapping along to the rhythms helps children hear the syllables and words and helps them improve their motor skills. Our next tip is to use the child's name as an anchor. Research shows that infants pay most attention to the words said right after their name. So instead of saying, Zoe, let's read this book together, say, Zoe, book, let's read this book about pets together. We're still using full sentences, but we are placing the most important word right after the child's name. Next, we talked about writing. So talk to your children about what they draw. As you know, reading and writing go together. Children learn that printed letters stand for spoken words. They watch you read the mail, newspapers, food labels, or they watch you write a list and make notes. Once a child can grasp a thick crayon or marker, give them plenty of opportunities to draw and write. Then talk with them about what they drew, asking questions and responding to what they saw. You can also help make up stories to go with the drawing. Another little tip, if you don't know what your child has drawn, don't say, well, what is it? Instead, ask them, can you tell me about what you drew? This allows for the experience to be more positive and to improve their narrative skills. And last, play. Children learn about language through different kinds of play. It makes them think symbolically. For example, a pencil can become a wand. Your child becomes an astronaut in space, or today becomes the day when dinosaurs were alive. In other words, through play, children learn that one thing can stand for another. They develop narrative skills because they're making up a story and talking about what they're doing. They're practicing putting the thought into words. And it's also a chance for children to act out real life situations, work through their worries and fears, and solve problems using their imagination. So these are just a few ways that you can put the 6 skills into practice. So we've covered a lot. You've learned about our family place libraries, and you've learned some early literacy tips for you and your child. So let's go over some of the key takeaways. Remember that parents and caregivers of all children are important to how your child learns. Remember, their brain is 90% developed by 3 years old. And there are 6 primary literacy skills that you can help develop in your child through interacting with them. We have print motivation, the interest in books, phonological awareness, hearing and manipulating smaller sounds into words, vocabulary, knowing the names of things that are concrete and abstract, narrative skills, describing things, events, and telling stories, print awareness, means they know that print has meaning, how to handle and follow along with a book, and letter knowledge, that letters have different names and sounds. The next thing, make learning fun by talking and singing, reading, writing, and playing with your child. And last, we're here for you. The library is so much more than books. We are here to help support your family and to connect you with resources to meet your needs. So thank you. That is our first part of our family place workshop, also as the parent-child workshop. Join us next week as we learn about child development. And if you have any other questions for us, please reach out to us. This is our youth services team. There's myself, Samantha Dembo, the library director. Jenny Thomas is our children's services specialist, and Amanda Garcia is our teen services specialist. Please stop by the library, give us a call, send us an email. We can gladly help connect you to resources here at the library or refer you to an outside source.